Why won't you let it go, let it go? What we had was never personal, personal. Nothing you could better save your breath, leave your regrets behind. Invincible, you're not invincible.
Everybody, welcome to Approach with Caution podcast. I'll be your host for today, Cody. On my left, we got Alex.
What's going on, guys? How's it going?
And the day has finally arrived. I didn't think it was going to happen, did you?
No, he wouldn't do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, on the couch, we got our host, Adam.
Yo.
What is up?
Thanks for having me.
How's your day? Good?
Good. We had 2 cancellations, so
Shout out to them.
yeah, shout out to them.
Shout out to them.
This was the episode that I never planned on doing. We're booked out almost to complete season 2.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I'm not doing it, and lo and behold, here we are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even him just saying that, already booked all the way almost January.
We have so much going on, so much coming up, so we're super excited.
Still in shock. It all just came together like
Right.
a week.
Yeah.
And it's feeling good, too. We got positive momentum. That's all you could hope for.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah, we're super excited to share with you guys everything we got going on. But for now, we're going to pick Adam's brain,
Mm-hmm.
see what he wants to tell us, what he doesn't want to tell us.
I'm an open book. Let's have some fun.
All right.
Down.
So you and I met, man, I don't even know how long ago it was. I want to say 8 years ago.
Yeah, could
At a
be.
flea market in Allentown at Merchant Square Mall. You were selling some racing stuff, both avid racing fans. And that's how I got to know you.
And then I met you from you.
Just mutual.
Yeah, just mutual.
Yeah, and we stayed close ever since.
Yeah.
As long as I've known you, you've been on the go. You know, you're doing pool tournaments, you're doing flea markets, you're doing the stuff with the podcast. How are you able to maintain so much?
Mostly because I love it. I've had so many incredible life experiences through NASCAR, through wrestling, through the podcast, through my work. You know, I've had so many opportunities and been given so many chances to do incredible things. So when you do what you love, you keep busy, you keep doing stuff, you know, whether the money's there or not, as long as you're having fun, you know, you only get one go around. So you want to make the most of it, and luckily I've been blessed to have made the most of what I've done.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I mean, we're still, I won't say in our prime. I mean, you're in your prime more than me and Adam.
Yeah, right. Young
But,
kid over here.
There's so much, you know, stuff we have yet to do. So much stuff coming up. So much stuff we want to do.
Yeah.
And what are you looking forward to the most regarding this podcast? Like, I know it was a shot in the dark. You called me over, hey, check this out. But now it's growing and it's getting like massive.
Right.
Like, we like to have that mindset because I feel like if you don't have that positive mindset, you're just
gonna fall apart, and you're not gonna believe that anything's gonna happen.
So without trying to do any spoilers,
Yeah.
what do you have that you are most excited for?
For the podcast, I mean, we have some great guests coming up, and I've actually been working on a couple more that, you know, hopefully can come through for us. Season 2 is going to be great. We're going on the road.
Mm-hmm.
We got 2 events coming up that we're going to be doing, and we're going to be posting those, and we're going to be doing a live at one of them, getting some interviews hopefully at another.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of stuff coming up, but I mean, the set here has been incredible. This is where we started, but I think that forward progression we have, this is the next big step, going on the road, getting some people outside of here, getting some bigger stars that we got coming on. We got some more things coming up. That's incredible. So, I mean, that forward momentum that we already have, you know, we've had a lot of support from friends, from family, from people, you know. I had somebody who I haven't talked to in 4 or 5 years come up to me the other day. I bumped into him. They said, hey, by the way, the podcast is doing great. I was like, wow, like somebody I don't talk to, somebody I'm not pushing this to.
Mm-hmm.
People on our Facebooks are noticing. People are watching the product, and I want to thank you guys for watching it with us and supporting.
Absolutely.
What does the great Buster Moon say from Sing?
There's only when you hit rock bottom, there's only one way to go, and that's up. So
All right, we always
Yeah.
going up.
yeah.
Adam, I like to play this game with Adam where if I see something hard, I send it to him. It could be a list. You know, I was at 2nd and Charles and
find
rack
stuff.
of there, and I
Yeah.
send him the picture and I say, over or under, how many of these have you seen? He says, that wall and probably one that hasn't existed yet.
Yeah.
Which, it might be true. Bad.
I have my go-to of like I'm a creature of habit. I like what I like. I don't like expanding too much into it. So I have my like 3 franchises that I watch, and those are the ones I stick to. But I dive into here and there, bits and pieces. I see stuff on Facebook.
Yeah, that's awesome. Going back to wrestling in Scranton, you've been an avid wrestling fan probably your whole life.
Right.
What was it that made you fall in love with the sport of professional wrestling?
So I was young. I mean, this is probably around 2000, and I was getting into wrestling. I was watching tapes. I never got into Disney. I never got into cartoons, never got into the video games. A lot of the stuff that kids did, I just never got into. I really resonated with wrestling. And I remember to this day, King of the Ring 1999. Billy Gunn won the King of the Ring. And that's the reason I'm, to this day, still a Billy Gunn fan. My first wrestling shirt I bought in 20 years was almost 20 years was a Billy Gunn shirt. So watching the Attitude Era, DX, Billy Gunn, the New Age Outlaws, that was kind of what got me into wrestling.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm trying to think of it was probably around the same era. Mine was probably around like 2001, 2002, and I can't pinpoint the date, but I remember staying up late, and I was like, there was like nothing on TV, and I almost had to like sneak that my TV was on, because you had to do that back then. And be like, your mom would be like, hey, lights out, school tomorrow.
Yeah,
right.
Luckily for me, it was Friday Night SmackDown, so I had school next night. And it was the episode when Big Show threw Kurt Angle.
Oh my God! Yeah, the balcony.
Off the balcony onto the concrete floor, and they pan to Kurt, and he's got the blood coming out of his head and everything. And I was like, it honestly, it scared me. It was a shock factor, because that was before I was big on like horror and all that stuff.
Right.
But it was one of those where it was like, I need to see what happens. Like, is he dead? Is he alive?
Right.
So it kept me tuning in, and ever since that, it was just something religiously based. Started following, and then it grew, and then it was just the love that I gained for the sport and everything.
It was a little after that, but I had that same kind of thing. That Kurt thing messed me up. But then when Shane McMahon, there was something with that dumpster that was on fire, Shane and Kane, and Kane got thrown into that dumpster that was on fire. That did it for me. That was crazy. Yeah.
And there's so much with wrestling too. It's not just wrestling. There's so much into it too, that there's storyline. There's other celebrities from movies that are appearances in wrestling. There's so much entertainment that goes on to it. So it's really dope.
Right. And arguably with R.I.P. Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Arguably the biggest sportsman of the 80s.
Yeah.
Like, even the early 90s that kept professional wrestling going. Other than that, and then the Attitude Era, I would believe now, I don't think wrestling's been bigger.
Right.
And I know people have their opinions on how everything is being booked and how they're using certain talent and how, Jelly Roll coming in, people were like, why is he here? But it's bringing that market to the sport. So that's why I argue I don't think it's been bigger.
Yeah, I mean, this is the biggest it's been since the Attitude Era. And it's almost commonplace. You hear people talking. I got people who don't watch wrestling, and they go, Jelly Roll is taking on Logan Paul, the YouTuber. It's like, yeah, I mean, so now you got a country music genre, you got streamers, you got people bringing in things, back.
It's almost like real life celebrity deathmatch.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
In a way, that's how it's getting to.
So it's got that pop culture,
exactly
thing going on right now. So
and that's what gravitates towards people, because if they like that artist, and they'll watch it, and it just explodes from there.
So if you're listening, Skrillex,
please, yes,
do a match in WWE.
Skrillex, please,
preferably Philadelphia.
WWE, please make it happen.
Trying to weave in, because there's so much to talk about regarding your life, everything about that. Noticing the shirt you got on, big time pool player.
Yeah.
What made you want to get into that? Because that's also another thing where it can consume a good part, because before I met you, I was like, oh, my grandparents had a pool table.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, it's fine. I'd go down and play 8 ball.
You didn't realize that you can actually
and I was like,
get paid for it.
Yeah, they had it on ESPN, all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And then I started seeing the stuff you were doing, the tournaments and the money tournaments out in Vegas and all that stuff.
Yeah.
What made you gravitate towards that as a sport, as something you wanted to take on in your life?
So my stepdad Lonnie, he, him and my mom got married. And one day it was like, hey, we're going to go get a pool table from Walmart. Because back at that point, Walmart was selling pool tables. I think it was like $300, which is bare minimum, bare bones, kind of like wood top table. Not something great to play on, not something that, you're going to acquire a lot of skill from. And we started playing, and then the one night, it was New Year's Eve, he and I played 100 games of pool in one night. which is monstrous because a normal league night you play 25 games, and that's with 10 people playing.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, there's not a lot of repetition. That night we got a lot of repetition in, and he goes, "Well, hey, how do you feel about doing a tournament?" I was like, "All right, I'll do a tournament, see what it's about." And I went and I got 0-2, knocked out first round, first one out, and I was like, "Well, this sucks. I don't have a shot here." And they said, "Well, why don't you join a league?" I said, "Okay, joining a league." Thursday nights I joined, and a guy who watches the show a lot, he talks to me about it, Jake Hollenbach. He offered me to join his team, and I stayed on his team for one session. He was a great captain. He taught me what he could, and I got an opportunity to jump onto a different team with a guy who's been playing 30, 40, 50, I don't know. He might have been around when they invented the game of pool. He's been playing for a while, and I said, "Jake, I appreciate you letting me be on your team, but I really need to learn here," and moved on to the other team. But that's what kind of got me into it.
Yeah, that's cool. And there was always my big thing with pool was I always see like the trick shot clips.
Yeah.
Like I was a big bowler.
Oh, I remember those videos.
I was
those all the time.
I was in bowling leagues in high school. I bowled with my cousin Christian and met a lot of people like through that too. But you get there for pool league or bowling, and then Hammerhead's got pool tables, Jordan Lanes has pool tables, all this stuff. So like in your free time, you go to the bar, get food or whatever, get a drink, and you're just like watching these guys, and it's like intense. And me and you, the bar in Easton, Mothers.
Yeah.
This poor guy had to go to the bathroom, and the bathroom is all the way in the back, in between pool tables.
Let me tell you something. If you live in Easton and Mothers, it's a crazy place. It's wild.
Yeah,
but they have pool there, and they have a lot of.
You got to watch out for those places because what we do in league, we're going for a common goal of going to Las Vegas. When you get to a bar, and I'm not sure, I've never been to this bar, but you go to places, sometimes even Jordan Lanes, and I don't know if this is going to get back to them. They play for money there. Mm-hmm. And we're not talking $20 a game. We're not talking $20 a ball. I mean, there have been, and this is not at Jordan, but I know these people playing games for $10,000 a game.
Wow.
$100,000 sets. I mean, we're talking big money. So, yeah, I mean, if you're walking between, and this is a level of etiquette a lot of people don't know. If you're shooting, if somebody's shooting, walk around the table. Don't walk in front of them. Don't bump them, because if you screw somebody out of $10,000, $100,000, there's going to be issues.
Yeah, for sure. And that was seeing that and like hearing and like watching the tournaments and all that stuff. It's like made me almost like infatuated with it, because majority of us play 8-ball pool on our phone. Yeah, that's my strength in billiards.
Well, I used to go camping back in the day, and they had a pool table in the game room, and I was so fascinated too with it. And it was every weekend we would go and play. We would shoot pool, and it was just like the main thing.
Something about the sound.
Yeah.
When they.
Oh yeah.
It's just.
And the thing I like about pool, and you'll see it all the time. You'll go to a bar, and there's these old dudes playing it, right? Unlike football, unlike baseball, where it's a game of agility, ability, strength, pool is so much more a mental game than a physical game. If you got the mental game, you could go well into your 70s, well into your 80s, and you could still be a competitive pool shooter. We got some of the best in the world up there in their 40s and 50s right now, where you can't think of a 50-year-old or a 60-year-old playing NFL. Like, it's just not doable.
Unless you're Tom Brady.
Right.
I believe Tom is the only one
that can do it.
Tom, if you're listening.
And deflate balls. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, it's just one of those things, and that's why I love pool. I mean, this is going to be something that can carry me into retirement when I get old, and I'm one of these grumpy guys walking around a pool hall. I can still do it at that point.
And there's big rewards when you do tournaments and stuff. You mentioned you go to Vegas a lot.
Your uncle goes too, doesn't he?
Yeah, my uncle is on a pool league too, so he goes to Vegas a lot. Tell us about Vegas and how that works. And
so Vegas is
what stays in Vegas, or how Vegas stays in Vegas.
What depends on Vegas is the league that you're in.
Yeah,
there's APA, which is a system which I'm not a big fan of, because you have to win your division. Then you have to go to another tournament of 8, and then if you win that, and you're lucky enough to win that, you got to go to another tournament of 8. You got a 1 in 24 chance of going to Vegas.
Oh wow.
I think
Very-
bowling's set up the same way. They're with the PBA tour,
Yeah.
all that stuff.
It's very hard to do.
Mhm.
It promotes sandbagging. There's a lot of stuff I have issues with. BCA is what I play, what I prefer. There's 4 teams. We send 1 out of 4 teams. The best team that year goes. I've been lucky enough the past three years I've gone to Vegas. And 3 out of the 4 years that I've been playing in League, I've went to Vegas. The first year I missed, I joined for my first session. Unfortunately, I missed it, but the 3 years since then, I've been going to Vegas. And it's been a blast. This last year, I got to take my own team. We made these jerseys. I took my Monday team, and that was special. It had my buddy Gus on there. It had my stepdad Lonnie. My captain for my Thursday team, Dan, came. My buddy Jake. And the other Jake. I mean, we had a stout team going out there, and I'm happy to say that out of Albertus, I think we don't have the number 1 spot, but we have like a top finish. We finished 23rd in the world
Oh wow.
in the round robin, and 33rd in the world in the actual developmental overall tournament. So I mean, 33rd. You know, it doesn't seem great when you say, all right, 33rd out of 150 teams. Doesn't seem incredible, but when you say these are the 150 best teams in the world,
Mm-hmm.
when how many teams didn't make it? You know, you got 1,200, 1,500, 2,000 teams that don't make it,
Mm-hmm.
and we were 33rd in the actual, you know, one and done and you're out tournament.
Mhm.
That's something that I'm going to take with me for a long time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you go gamble down there in Vegas?
I
or
gambled.
Anything fun down there?
It depends. This time I was pretty good on the gambling. I
Nice.
think I gambled like $400. My first year out in Vegas, I almost got my ass kicked on Fremont Street.
Oh wow.
So Las Vegas, there's a big homeless population. There's a lot of, you know, unfortunately, there's a lot of people who have substance abuse issues.
Mhm.
We went down to Fremont Street. Never been there. I've never traveled. So I went down there with Chuck and Nicole, 2 people that were on my team at the time, and we're just standing outside the Gold Nugget. And this homeless guy comes up to me, and he goes, "Stop saying my name." I was like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Stop saying my fucking name." I was like, "Dude, I don't know you. I don't know what you're talking about." And luckily, Chuck was there, and Chuck's like, "Is there a problem? Is there gonna be a problem?" And the guy's like, you know, no. And he walked away, and I said to him, I was like, "Thank you for not allowing me to get my ass kicked in Las Vegas." Because I'm not a fighter. I'm not. If I have to, but I diffuse
Yeah.
the situation, get out of it. That's not my deal.
Mhm.
But yeah, thanks to Chuck, it was thanks to him I'm still alive today, because I could have got my ass seriously stomped out there.
Mhm.
Oh wow.
And it could have happened, you know, that could happen anywhere.
Anywhere,
out
yeah.
there.
Right.
Yeah.
And sadly enough, this year, though, you almost didn't make it out to Vegas. from
Right,
what I heard.
Yeah.
You want to enlighten us on that?
So one of the franchises, like we talked about, the horror movie franchises I watch, I love Final Destination.
Great series.
Final Destination 1, it deals with a plane. We get there, I always get there early, never know what's going on. Past 3 years, I've always booked my plane ticket in the back of the plane. For the simple purpose of, they say if you get into a plane accident, you are more likely to survive from the back of the plane. I don't know if that's morbid because you crush all the bodies going to the front. I don't know safety measures, why that is. So I always book in the back of the plane. This year we get on the plane, and luckily we were flying American. And my TV's not working. They have TVs in the back of the seat. So I was like, I'll watch a movie, whatever. I get on there and it's glitching. Not working, and I didn't think anything of it, and I was like, oh, this is gonna suck. So I'm like, all right, I'll sign up for the Wi-Fi. I'll watch Netflix, because thank God for Netflix, you could watch videos anywhere nowadays too.
Mhm.
We get up in the air, we take off, and all the TVs on the plane go out. I said, wow, that sucks. What the hell happened? The air, like you get air from above, that goes off, and the plane goes, nope, and just falls. And I was like, oh my God. So what they did was they rebooted the engines. We blew an engine. And luckily in the time we went from here to here, it kicked back on. We circled around Newark 3 times. We landed.
Gotcha.
You know, and it was a wild moment because there were firefighters around. There was the they had to wait for us to land in case we crashed to get resources there for us. We made the news. Every year, if you've gone to Vegas, you know that they have the Jewish Home Builders Convention out there the same time we go. Not sure why they book it like that, but they do. Me being me, I deal with panic through comedy. I like to laugh, and if I'm going to die, I want to die laughing. So have somebody on my right, a Jewish person to my left, 2 people in front of me. Obviously, we're all going to Las Vegas. And I said, wow, guys, I hope you prayed today, because now would be a good time to kiss your ass goodbye. And nobody found that as funny as I did. I found it hilarious. So then we got on to the next plane, and everybody around me canceled their ticket, got a refund. I had 3 whole rows to myself. They did not want to get back on a plane.
You knew what you were doing.
I knew what I was doing. I got a window seat like that, free of charge.
I would have walked right to first class.
Right, I'm moving up there.
Hey.
To their defense, if I didn't want to fly again, and if I get the chance to go out to Vegas again this year, it's going to be something I'm going to have to wrestle with, because like getting out there was fine. I was like, all right, the odds of a plane incident twice, low. Coming back, we leave at midnight. We get back at like 8 o'clock, so I just slept, whatever. But now going out next year is going to be like something I'm going to have to wrestle with.
Yeah, that was. We went to Florida. Oh my gosh! So we got to the airport at like 11, and because we had to be out of our house, so we got there at like 11. Our flight was for 4, and we boarded onto the plane, and we're sitting on the plane for I don't know, maybe like half an hour, not even. So we're sitting there, and we're like waiting, and like what's taking so long? Like 2 hours passes, and we're still on this plane.
Yeah.
We're like what the hell is happening? So I guess the plane didn't work. So we're sitting there for like 2 hours on this plane. There's no air conditioning, nothing. We're sweating our asses off.
Right.
And so they took us off the plane. They're like, all right, something's wrong with the plane. We're like, all right. So then that was like 2 planes later. They put us on 2 different aircrafts. And then we're sitting there. We didn't get home till like 1 in the morning. We were there for 12 hours at the airport.
And claustrophobia is real.
Yeah.
Like, those planes are meant for aerodynamics. They're not meant for comfort. Even in first class, you can't tell me you're comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
These planes are tough, so I couldn't imagine. Like, we got up and we were on our way and we were going, and that's when it happened. We got circling, we came back down. I think it was like a half-hour process. It delayed us about 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't imagine waiting on a plane with people.
Oh, it was miserable. It was so hot. I mean, there was no air conditioning at all.
Awful.
And we sat there for 2 hours in the airplane.
I'm still waiting to go on my first plane ride, believe it or not.
Let's take the Approach with Caution podcast out to Vegas, boys.
Let's do it.
I'm down. We're in.
There's the bucket list. There's the bucket list podcast. If anybody wants to sponsor Approach with Caution podcast, Las Vegas,
take us there.
We are going
there.
We're there.
But yeah, I like flying. I don't mind it.
Yeah,
but fun. I could only imagine that experience. If I was in that scenario, I would be like,
I would much rather. It would be much rather easier for me to fly than to get my ass on a cruise ship. You will not.
Yeah.
Ocean,
the
not your friend.
No.
The Titanic, they advertise that as unsinkable. What happens to the boats that they don't advertise as unsinkable? Those bitches sink too.
You got a point. You got a big point there.
People ask they were like, yeah, I went on this grand luxury cruise. It was the best.
There was nothing luxury.
I was like, no.
Well, how about that one, that Carnival cruises where all the toilets overflowed and they had the shit all over the place for weeks? It was crazy.
There's a documentary on that.
Oh my god, I'll take a hard pass on that. They could have just opened the bottom of the boat and dumped it all out into the ocean.
Because realistically, if you're gonna die on a plane, I mean, you're done.
It's quick.
It's quick and over with. I'm not drowning.
I don't want to drown.
No.
That's why I said we hit turbulence coming back, and I said, oh my god, I hope we hit something hard and fast, because I don't want to do it.
Exactly.
There was a movie, not Titanic, that I saw. It's called Poseidon. Have you ever heard of this movie?
No.
The album cover, the artwork for the cover, the movie poster, is enough to send chills down anybody's spine to not want to go on a cruise ship. I don't know I forget if it was about a true story or not, but basically this cruise ship gets hit by a rogue wave and it flips over. But everybody inside is intact.
Oh god!
So think of you see the bottom of the boat as the top, and the windows and everything start cracking, and the water starts coming through the bottom.
And they got to swim up, right?
Yes.
I think I might have seen.
That sounds familiar. Yeah.
Horrifying. That and Ghost Ship. First 10 minutes of Ghost Ship is one of the best in cinema history. So leaving it on that note here, we're going to take a quick break. We definitely have a lot more to get into with Adam regarding NASCAR, autographs, bunch of stuff. So stay tuned. We'll be right back after this message.
The Approach with Caution podcast would like to thank our sponsors, Allentown Tables, We Are Strong Incorporated, and Triple Threat Academy. If you would like to sponsor us for Season 2, email theapproachwithcautionpod@gmail.com. Our sponsorship packages have 3 different levels, bronze, silver, and gold, just starting at $50. You get to sponsor us for all of Season 2, and everything goes back into the podcast, whether it be for studio upgrades, new equipment, or even helping get people onto the podcast.
Welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. We still got Adam on the couch. How you doing?
Doing good.
Little toasty in here. You're also in jeans too.
You guys
I'm
will
in
never
pants,
see me
too.
in shorts. I don't wear shorts. I don't own a pair of shorts. Nothing.
Is there a reason for that?
Yeah.
I just like comfort.
You do have a sick tattoo though. You can show off.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, I got one tattoo and like nobody knows about it.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, it's on my leg. Nobody knows about it. Like 5 people in the world know about it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, now we're
Now 6.
Yeah, 6.
6. We got and our 14
viewers.
viewers that are
Yeah,
going to
yeah,
be watching this.
yeah.
thing. So
Yeah.
thank you to the 14 viewers. You're now part of the 20. Doing great numbers, guys.
Only place left to go is up.
Up.
So touching back on, we dabbled in wrestling talk earlier in the episode. You had a career as a ring announcer
Yeah.
and on the indie circuit. How did that come about? Were you afraid to take bumps and you said this is my safe alternative, or did you just were fascinated with Joey Styles and?
Yeah, so I love Joey Styles.
I
Work with
love
him.
Joey Styles too.
So I was working at Pro Wrestling World at the Merchant Square Mall. We were doing the museum there when we would have autograph signings. I grew up around the business, so I was learning the ins and outs. I knew a lot of the wrestlers. I had a bunch of connections. One day I was sitting at Pro Wrestling World, and I got a Facebook notification. They said, hey, Triple WA, we're looking for ring announcers. We need a ring announcer tonight. Zern's Farmers Market, you got to be there by 7. I said, all right, well, cool, I'm done here. I think it was like 3 o'clock I got done. Went home, grabbed my suit, went down. I said, hey, I'm here to do ring announcing. I'd love to do it for you guys. And then I did the show that night. Triple WA, thank you to Dino Santa. And I got my paycheck. It was in an envelope, and it was $15. I said, you know what? This is something I always wanted to do. I wanted to be, part of the show.
Mm-hmm.
And I got invited back for the next week, and the next week, and the next month, and the next month, and it turned into about 3 years of doing ring announcing for Triple WA. And it's awesome because Triple WA, what I was always told when you got in the business and working around Pro Wrestling World was Triple WA is where you go to start your career or you go to wrap up your career. And I was lucky enough to get started there. I mean, you got guys like Samoa Joe who came through there, AJ Styles worked there. Like, this was a little before Ring of Honor. I mean, we got bona fide wrestlers, soon to be Hall of Famers in Triple WA, and I was just lucky enough to be on some of those shows. And I got to work in Philly, which is like, for a wrestling fan, I'm just a fan. Like, I wasn't a trained wrestler. I did a couple lessons of training. I knew what it was to take a bump. And you're right. I wanted nothing to do with that. It hurts your neck, hurts your back. Mm-hmm. The concussions, just moving back and forth. Your back hits the mat and you stop, but your brain doesn't. Mm-hmm. So, like, all the credit in the world to the wrestlers, man. That sucks.
Yeah,
Doing that night in and
I
night
can
out.
imagine.
Yeah,
my worst fear would just be racking my head the back.
It's very common.
And you seeing it in person for the first time not
Yeah.
that long ago at PPL Center.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, I know, you're just getting into it, watching it, but going to a live event's a good way to, start, seeing it.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's
They
what I tell
really-
any wrestling fan. You got to see at least one in person.
Right.
And they really put their bodies through it. I mean,
And-
it's intense.
And the thing is, too, if you're working now on the indie scene, you don't do it as much. I was doing my most, when I was my busiest, I did 6 shows in a month. These guys are doing 5-6 shows in a week. And they're landing on their back, they're landing on their neck, they're landing on their head. And every single night, I mean, the athleticism, a lot of people push it off as, oh, it's fake. It's entertainment. A lot of people don't go into the movies going, that Die Hard was fake. No, you go and enjoy the show.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I wish a lot of people could do. They could separate, this is art. It's dangerous. They don't have stunt doubles. They don't have second takes. If we mess up right now, We go back, clip it, edit it, reverse it, whatever we need to do, redo a set. If you're a wrestler, you can land on your head one time the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's what a lot of people don't get.
So, were you ever nervous when you were in the ring, like, you know, messing the guy's name up or, you know, getting that stuff, or was it just kind of so, like, natural to you that you never had to worry about it?
I was nervous. I was always nervous. You know, the longer I did it, the less nervous I was, because you go out there, and I'm sure Alex knows this from being on stage before. You know, you're in front of people. The largest show I ever did was like 500-600 people. I mean, we've done some arenas. Being the drummer is cool because you're on there, but it's not like you're not the guy that's right in front of the stage.
Mm-hmm.
I'd go out there, I'd start the show, I'd be the only person in the ring. I would do the introduction, I'd call out Dino, I'd call out a wrestler, I'd call out whoever, and you are there in front of 200, 300, 400 people, and everybody's looking at you. Your suit has to be on point, your haircut has to be on point, you have to look good. You know, it's a lot of pressure knowing that you are the first person that these fans see when they paid 15, 20, 30 bucks to come see a wrestling show. You want to be a good representation of yourself, of the brand. So it was definitely nerve-wracking to do. To my knowledge, I only ever pronounced 2 people's names wrong. One was a pronunciation problem. I didn't say it the way it was supposed to be said, and he was cool about it. His wife read me the riot act. Came up and like was screaming at me, and she's like, "This is how you say it." I said, "All right, well, I'll adjust for next time. Sorry." I went up to him in the locker room. I was like, "Hey man, apparently I said your name wrong. I'm sorry for that." You know, and he was cool about it. A lot of the wrestlers were cool about it. The other guy, when I was growing up, there was a group of guys called the Killer Steves. There was 5 of them. 5 wrestlers. They were all named Steve something. My first show, I was nervous, and you know, I have my index cards, so I was writing on index cards. I'd look down, because these guys, you know, the WWE ring announcers are doing this every night. They know the names, they know the weights, they know where they're from. This was my first time. I get all the information, I write it down, I'm in the ring, and I say, you know, this is Steve Styles. And one of the fans goes, "Whoa, that's not right." And I was like, it said Steve on the lineup sheet. So then after I went up to the promoter, I was like, "Was that Steve?" And they go, "No, it's Stan." I was like, "Well, your handwriting sucks." Because I called that guy Steve.
You're trying to be sabotaged.
Yeah. And that's why I only got $15 for that show.
Oh, no.
$15 well spent, though.
Well spent. I mean, you ain't getting Tony Chimmel to do it.
Do you do something like before you go out to kind of just like, you know, rest your mind when you're nervous? Do you have like something that you just kind of go to before?
I would always be out with the fans before the show.
Yeah.
And the main reason I was out with the fans was a lot of the marketing stuff. A lot of the independent wrestlers have this idea that they're too good. They're too good to be out there with the fans. They're too good to go out and sell merch.
Mm-hmm.
I had trading cards made up. I had a set of 4 trading cards. So what I do is, as everybody comes in, take their ticket, I go, "Here's a trading card. Free. Come see me at intermission. I'll sign it for you guys mid-intermission. I'll do a little autograph signing over there." They would come to me at intermission time. I'd say, "Hey, you know, I'm signing this. Just so you know, this is part 1 of a 4-part set. Selling all 4 signed for $5. Boom. Kids got $5. You know, and the wrestlers aren't out there selling shirts, you know, doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm getting $5. I'm making more in merchandise than I was from actually doing the show.
Mm-hmm.
It got to the point where like I was going to flea markets and I was buying busted microphones for pennies, $2-3.
Yeah.
I'd sell them signed for $20 every show, and I'd sell 2-3 a show.
Oh wow.
So now I'm making $60-$70
Mm-hmm.
off of merchandise. I'm getting my $20 at the end of the night. I'm walking out with $80,
Oh.
which is more, the same if not more than the guys in the main event who are risking their body because they just don't want to do it. They think they're too good for it. And I got heat with some of the wrestlers because one of the guys came up, he goes, "Who do you think you are selling merchandise?" I said, "Nobody else is out here doing it. If somebody else is out here doing it, wants to sell merchandise, I'll stop. But you can't yell at me." You know, I was still a kid. I was just trying to make money. I'm green. I'm a rookie. You know, I don't know all the rules. But, like, don't be mad at me because nobody else wants to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of what it was. But before the show, always out with fans.
Nice.
I would do I would go make an announcement over the loudspeakers if we were at a mall or something,
Mhm.
trying to get people to the show. I'd go
Yeah.
out and do autograph signings. Me and James, we had that story, about the poor blind lady needing a bumper sticker.
Oh.
Mhm. Yeah.
So it was always something to drive people to the show.
Gotcha. Yeah, when I'm playing drums at a show, I always try and like be in a quiet room with just sticks and just to clear my head. No
Right.
no noise, no nothing until I go on. So that's kind of like what I do.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It works.
It's
so.
it's important to set yourself out.
Yeah.
Like just what you got to do and to
Mhm.
do it, and then that's the
Yeah.
important thing.
Mhm.
So speaking about autographs and stuff that you would have people have or sell and stuff. Do you have a lot of autographs yourself for fans of wrestling?
Yeah, I mean, I have a book with me, my WWE encyclopedia. That thing's my baby. I
Yeah.
got that in 2009. It was probably one of the greatest Christmas gifts I ever got.
Mm-hmm.
I have like 300 autographs in it. I mean,
Oh, wow.
I'm talking everybody from Stone Cold, Bret Hart. I mean, I've got an autograph on almost every page. I was carrying that thing with me.
Mm-hmm.
Airports, hotels, working at Pro Wrestling World really filled it up. Something I enjoy is doing autographs. I love going to meet people. Getting stuff signed is like the coolest thing. Even if it's not for me, Cody just had one of those experiences getting some Chase Elliott stuff for his mom.
Yeah.
The coolest thing you could do is take something that's personal to somebody and go and get that signed for them. Like I did that when Kevin Harvick was running his Harvick can car.
Yeah.
I got something signed for Cody.
Yep, still got that kid to this day.
Mm-hmm.
Like the ability that I have, like it's cool to get my stuff signed, but when I could do stuff like that,
Yeah.
I got a shout out from Kyle Busch from my mother.
Mhm.
Stuff like that you could do is incredible to me, and I love taking people with me. I got my stepdad Lonnie to meet Rusty Wallace. Cody's come with me to several Dover events, and we're going to be doing hopefully some WWE stuff coming up. I know we're going to go down to Philly. We're going to be waiting out for some autographs down there.
Mhm.
And that's the cool stuff.
Yeah.
You do this stuff with your friends
Mm-hmm.
and getting autographs. But yeah, I collect mostly in my book. Some stuff, I got a big collection of Ty Gibbs stuff.
Mhm.
I have now every produced Ty Gibbs 124 scale signed, like the complete set. So Ty's always been cool signing stuff. And what a lot of people don't get is if you're cool to the fans, they'll continue to buy.
Mhm.
Ty's always been cool to me, so when that pickle car comes out, that Sonic pickle car comes out, I'm getting that. When the $1 Million Race version comes out, I'm getting that. Now these guys aren't making all the money off of it. They're getting a couple pennies here, a couple pennies there, but like if you are cool to the fans, they'll continue to buy stuff. Jeff Hardy, growing up watching him, going back to the Attitude Era, Jeff was like the guy. If you saw crazy stunts, Jeff was doing it, jumping off of ladders, going through tables, jumping off sets, everything. I met Jeff Hardy at a TNA show, and I said, "Hey Jeff, I'm a big fan. I got like 10 action figures of you because I was collecting the whole TNA set. I was like, I got 10 figures. What are the odds you could sign a couple for me?" He goes, "Bring them all in." Later that day, I ran into Jeff, and he was super cool. Signed everything I had, signed even more, and he was doing full signatures, big signatures. And that's the thing a lot of people don't realize. There's a lot of guys have two different autographs. There's one that they do for the resellers, and there's one that they do for the fans.
Mhm.
And Jeff knew I was a fan, man, growing up. So now anytime I see Jeff at a convention, WrestleCon, the big event, if I'm ever at an event and Jeff Hardy's there, I'll pay $40 to meet Jeff because he was cool.
Mhm.
Kurt Angle, same thing. If I'm ever at an event with Kurt Angle, whatever they're charging, I'm going to pay because Kurt Angle was cool to me. He was a nice guy. Brooklyn Brawler, on the other hand, miserable prick. I hope I never see that guy again. Yells at his fans, doesn't treat the fans well. Came in yelling belligerently drunk at people. And I hate to put people with problems out there, but you've been in WWE for 30 years. I have 2 wins less than the Brooklyn Brawler in WWE. I mean, 30 years, and I got 2 wins less than you, brother. You got bigger problems than your fans. But yeah, that's the thing. Always be nice to the fans.
Exactly, because you're the reason why they're so big and
Right.
successful. So
That's something could stick with someone for a while too. I mean, I've been fortunate enough to meet a lot of people, whether it's drivers, wrestlers, stuff like that have been super cool about it. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, Chase Briscoe, probably arguably the nicest, probably too nice
Right.
guy in the garage. Man has like every chance in the world to raise Denny hard, raise SVG hard, and he just won't take it.
Right.
There's like Dale Jr. I mean, you want to talk about
Super nice.
you want to talk about Class A tier,
Right.
yeah, he was signing for forever. I mean, there was a horde of people out there, and he was signing.
Right.
And it's because he knows what it means. It's like I'm thinking, how do I say it? I don't know if he realizes how big of an impact he has on the sport, but I think he does, because every week he goes, whether he's just there as a fan or if he's there crew chiefing or
Yeah.
as the owner checking on everything, he takes the time, steps away from the car, and just goes.
Yeah.
Him at Pocono, we all stood in a circle, and he just kept
Yeah.
going.
And that's the thing, like, you can assume everybody you sign an autograph for is going to resell it on eBay. You can, and that's the thing a lot of these drivers do now. That's why Chase Elliott will sign in the top corner. Harvick would always sign on the roof or the hood of a car. A lot of guys don't change paint pens. But, like, for a guy like Dale, let's say 90% of the stuff you sell goes on eBay. That's still 10% of your fans that are getting to meet you, might never get another opportunity to meet you, and are having that, interaction with you. And that's gonna change their life. I mean, I know people who I go to the bar and like, oh, back in the 90s I met Senior and he was so cool, and they talk about that. It's 2025.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know how much that one autograph, that one picture, that one interaction, and it means nothing to these guys. These guys see 1,000 people every weekend. Doesn't mean anything to them. But the story and how nice you are transcends this. I mean, this Jeff Hardy story that I just said, Jeff being so cool, Kurt Angle being so cool, this was 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And to this day, if I see them, I will still pay for an autograph. I'll pay for a picture. I'll thank them, for being so genuine to a fan, because I was genuinely a fan. That's the important thing.
Yeah, and I was kind of in the same book when we were up at Pocono. I mean, big fan of Corey LaJoy, regardless of what people think about him. One of the nicest dudes in the garage. Man just gets the sport. One of the smartest when it comes to the current car. I reached out to him, just really and be like, hey, we'll be up there. We'd love to race you at S&S Speedway. Not thinking anything. He sent me a time. He said, hey, dude, we'll be here around 6:30, 7 o'clock. Bring whoever.
Right.
Then ran into him that day, pulled me aside. Him, Carl Edwards, me and you were just talking. He was like, yeah, we'll be here at this time. And we showed up, and they were there, and ran a couple races with them. And it's stuff like that that'll stick, because these guys are, for how many 36 Sundays out of the year?
Yeah.
Not so much with them now, but they were always on the road. They're
Right.
different tracks every week, PR events, stuff like that. And he took the time out of his night that he could have spent with family or, whatever, to go race with a couple, other fans or just a couple people. I know Briscoe's guys were there. Ty was there. Chase, a bunch of Carl Edwards showed up, and it was just a fun time. And that will sit with me, because it's like he didn't have to. He could be like, oh,
Yeah.
whatever. Or we show up in the shirt, and he's like, oh, great. But
Right.
they took the time to race with us, talk with us, and I think another more recent one, Dom Mysterio.
Oh, yeah.
30
Up
down.
at the PBL Center when he was still with his deadbeat dad. Everybody at the PBL Center pulls in, they go underneath the building, not seen. You can get a picture of them in their car, they wave to you.
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah.
that's about
And Dom was the only one that came up, and there wasn't really a lot. I think it was like 8 of us.
Yeah, not many.
Not a lot.
Yeah.
And he was the only one that took the time to come up, sign, and take pictures with everybody.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
regardless of how his character is, if you see him outside of it, one of the nicest,
super nice guy.
Right.
Yeah.
down-to-earth humans, and that'll always stick, because that was important to me. You had kids there that are like, these guys are larger than life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for him to be the only one to come up really stuck.
Right.
Yeah.
He does care,
Yeah.
regardless of what he plays on TV. That being said, have you had experiences with people that you never want to meet again? NASCAR, wrestling. I know you talked about the Brooklyn Brawler.
Yeah, Brooklyn Brawler, real piece of shit. I mean, yeah, there's an exception to have off days. Everybody has an off day. Everybody has been out late partying one night. But, as far as top 5 worst people, yeah. I mean, everybody's generally nice.
Mhm.
There's people who I won't take extra stuff for. Chase Elliott's one of those guys where it's like, if I get 1, I'm happy. If I get 2, I'm lucky. If I get 3, he was in a good mood. You know, there's certain people who I just avoid. Elliot Sadler was another one of those where I just always got a vibe from him. And he never said anything directly, but like there was just, you could tell when somebody's annoyed and they don't want to do it. Jimmy Johnson one time said something to me. I got a car signed. It was like a Looney Tunes car. I was like, hey man, thank you, appreciate you stopping. And he goes, yeah, I'd be lynched otherwise. And I was like, wow, like, damn, Jimmy, like, if you're really that unhappy, like,
you didn't have to.
Yeah, like,
Right.
It's cool. So, it's the comments. It's not so much anybody outright being a dick, but like sometimes you'll get comments and they'll be like, oh, you know, you're gonna sell this on eBay. It's like, no,
Yeah.
it's for whoever, you know.
That's how it was when I met Kiss. It was, you know, I had a drumhead sign. My uncle's a huge Kiss fan, so wanted to give him something
Yeah.
to have because he wasn't there. And I had Paul Stanley came over and was signing it. And I said, hey, can you make it out to my uncle? And he was signing it. I said, did you make it out to? I was young. I was like,
Yeah.
Can you make it out to him? He's like, I said, did you? He's like, no. I was like, all right.
Yeah.
But then he did it. I was like, all right. But
Yeah.
it's just, you never know what they're going through. I mean, you can't always just be like, you know, they're a bad person,
Yeah.
you know, because they didn't do it. But, you know, they
Yeah.
could always just be in a bad mood or...
And there's like consistent people that you run into that like, and like I said, everybody has a bad day, but you consistently, every time you see somebody, it's like, it's always a bad situation.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, well, eventually you do it enough and you know who to get, who not to get. Cesaro, he'll always stop for a picture, but he refuses to sign anything. Like, and to that point, I get it. Like, all right, Cesaro stuff, whatever, doesn't get a lot of money on eBay anyway, but like, I've been trying to get him in my book for years. It's like, bro, I'll pay you. Like, it's not even about like, I want sign this for free. Like, if you say, hey, all right, $20, you know, this is for my collection, this is for my book.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you got to shell out the money. You know, like I told you guys about that Hulk Hogan story. I had an opportunity to fly to Florida to meet Hulk Hogan, pay $200 for an autograph, another $150 for a photo, $150 back. It was a $500 day, and now unfortunately, you know, that page is never going to get signed.
Right.
So sometimes you got to shell out the money, and I'm okay with that. If it's primo stuff, I'll gladly pay for it.
Yeah, you met Undertaker not long ago.
Right.
And that was a shit show.
He showed up late, like
Right.
late.
Wow.
It was at
And
Monster Mania. Came to Cherry Hill.
Oh, yeah.
and he showed up late, and I was like, damn, like, but I mean, it's the Undertaker, you know, you get one chance.
Mm-hmm.
He's not very, like, he doesn't do a lot of signings.
Yeah.
I've heard he's like 10 grand an hour or something crazy to come in and do a signing. So like, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity for me. So I went and I got him.
Yeah. I think we've been lucky enough with all the people we've met at like Monster Mania.
In the hard community,
I mean,
yeah.
you have Felissa Rose.
Super nice.
Sleepaway Camp,
Yeah.
one of the nicest lady ever. Got my friends Levy brothers, Mike and Jason from Terrifier. Hands down, stopped me and you and Kirsten at Atlantic City.
Yeah,
in
we were
like
talking for...
2017, I think, when Terrifier was like still underground, and I had an Art the Clown pin on my vest, and Mike said, "Hey, buddy, I like your pin." So then we're just, you know, talking, not knowing it, and then he started showing us the pictures and the bust they had of his decapitated head. Spoiler if you haven't seen Terrifier, but you know,
Must
it's been
watch.
out
Yeah, please.
how many years now?
Yeah.
But we just stayed close over the years and got to know them really well. Gonna go see them up at ScareCon in New York, and then they're gonna be here end of August, PA Horror Con, off Route 100, Delta Marriott Hotel. Oh my God, who was it? Dave Sheridan, Special Officer Doofy from Scary
I got
Movie.
him. Yeah.
You and it's cool because you see how people are. You know, Bai Ling from The Crow,
Yeah.
super
nice.
Lachlan from White Chicks in Scary Movie.
Yep.
All these people are
And
nice.
Pet Cemetery, we met the cast from Pet Cemetery.
That is probably
Super.
my baby. I
Yeah.
have it's a Stephen King Pet Cemetery DVD
Yeah.
signed by the mom, the dad, Gage, and Pascal, and now Zelda. So it's all on the front, and to me, we'll touch on that in the horror movie
Yeah.
episode. But that is one of the top 3 movies that still holds up to me. Like, it's still a shock factor
Right.
that it was even public, like that it was even made.
Yeah.
But it's cool that these people have such small roles, like Zelda. from Pet Sematary. I believe his name is Andrew. Can't tell off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But the
He was
post,
bilingual. She only had
a few
roles, very small.
Right, but they are so like passionate about the fans that come out, and regardless if it's $40 for an auto or like 60 for a combo, they're just happy to be there. That like people remember them, and the same thing with like wrestling. NASCAR guys. I know we got Bobby Labonte last year. It's just I feel like for them it's cool to see that people still care, because there are those people where they're like, oh, you walk by, like, who was the one, Richie Ramone.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like, no, you're a Ramone, but you're not Johnny. All. But and there's some people that they're just paid to be there. Like I think the one guy, it was believe it or not, it was Animal.
Road Warrior Animal.
He was there. He wasn't really in the mood, and his manager was kind of like pushy. Like, I just wanted to shake his hand, be like, hey, it's cool to see you. Thanks for coming out. Manager, like, super pushy. He has to buy something.
Yeah.
Not necessarily him, but that'll like trickle off onto them and being like, wow, I guess this is what I have to do to make money.
It is. It's a shame. I mean, these wrestlers. Now, when we would bring a wrestler into Pro Wrestling World, we would pay them a set amount, but then would keep the extra. So, like, let's say we brought in AJ Styles. We agreed to pay him $1,500, and whatever over $1,500 we get, Bud would keep. So that's kind of how the managers do it. They give them a guarantee. Whatever else they get signed, they get to keep. That's why. Oh, you want to say hello? Nah. You want to buy a photo? Cool. Like, that's kind of how those managers are. And I get it, I understand, but there's a lot of times where, like, managers don't see the fan aspect. If you go to these cons, and I'm sure you've seen it, okay, this guy's $100 for a combo. This guy's $100 for a combo. This guy's $70 for a combo. This guy's $80. I mean, it adds up quick. It does at WrestleCon. Like, I've wanted to meet Sting for the longest time. His autograph is $70.
And he doesn't do bats.
No, he doesn't do bats. And in my book, I'd have him sign on a random page. It's not worth $70 to me. Sting is the icon. I was a big fan of his in TNA. WCW, obviously, he's maybe not the guy, but like he's up there. Goldberg and Booker T and Flair. Like, Sting is the guy there. But it's like, it's getting unreasonable, the prices that people have.
I mean, look at Fitterman Sports.
Oh, yeah.
What they're charging at the Fanatics Fest.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. And that's just for a quick walk up, shake the hand, take a picture, and get lost.
Yeah,
it's not a...
I got 14 seconds with The Undertaker for $200. And that's our era. That's when we were growing up. We saw him toss Mankind off the Hell in a Cell, toss Rikishi off the Hell in a Cell. All those matches with Triple H at WrestleMania, all those matches with Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania. I mean, the streak, like all of this stuff we saw. Exactly.
With Paul Bearer being involved, it was cool. Like he was the guy.
Yeah.
And he still is the guy. I mean, it's The Undertaker.
Right.
Like, it's...
You're paying like $12 or $15 a second to meet these guys. And now it's cooler because, like you said, the Levy brothers, we were talking to them down at in Oaks, down there, and they were chilling and they were cool. A lot of the more independent stuff, a lot of those guys are a lot cooler to talk to fans and hang out with the fans than these guys who have run WWF. A lot of people had stories about the Ultimate Warrior not being a great guy. So that's kind of where that is.
And I feel like they deserve it too, because they've put in the grind.
Yeah.
Like, all the behind the scenes stuff they've done. They've worked.
Yeah.
I mean, we just watched, there's a video on YouTube by the Grim Life Collective. They posted it. It was Terrifier 2 filming locations. And where they filmed the majority of it was so done. It was done so, I don't want to say,
like,
what's the word? Not super professional. Like,
Yeah.
not big studio budget.
like working
none of
with
that
what
stuff.
they had, like making what they had.
Right.
And they turned it into gold.
Yeah.
And it took off. That train took off.
And that's the crazy thing too. Like, unlike comedy, unlike romance, you have other aspects in horror, which, like, you need to make blood look good. You'll never have that problem in a romance movie. You need to make, gory stuff legitimate and look real. You're never going to have that in a comedy. Like, so
even casting roles too.
Right.
Like, if you want, Mark Hayes, player 4, you wanted a brute, you got a brute.
Yeah.
Kane, see no evil. You wanted a slasher.
that's a crazy movie.
That's a slasher.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, hands down.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, and seeing production is crazy because I got lucky enough to do a commercial with 2311, and seeing the production is crazy with things like that. Before we get there and they have a storyboard. They have the clip art of like where everybody's supposed to be, what you're supposed to say, what you're supposed to do, and it's like, this is what you need to do. This is your script. This is what you need to hit. Like, so I couldn't imagine the full production of a movie where you got to hit timing lines and you got to hit, you got to hit your cues. You got to say all the words the way they want it, because you could say something, and if you don't give it in the right tone, it could affect the outcome of the movie later.
Right.
So, like, you need to think of where you're here now to the end, and you got to figure out how exactly you want to get there. Like, it's got to be crazy.
So he was in the 2311 commercials. I mean, you worked for Michael Jordan.
I did,
Ooh.
Mr. Jordan.
Have you got that check yet?
Or the
I
signature.
actually-
Or the signature.
Or the signature?
I didn't get the signature. I got the check from Moneyline, and that's why we got this sign back here. Funny story I learned on the set. I don't remember if you remember those Kurt Busch Jordans, the shoes that 2311.
Yes, they were the Moneyline colors.
Yes. I met the owner of Moneyline at that set, and I said, "Look, man, I will trade you back every penny I make for this set if you get me a pair of those Kurt Busch shoes." Because I was a big Kurt fan. I was like, there was like 8 of them made. I said, I don't want any money. I want a set of the shoes. And he goes, they're all in a warehouse. We have hundreds of them. We cannot let them get out. Michael Jordan sent us a direct cease and desist letter
What?
that if we were ever to release any of them again, we would be sued till no end.
Oh.
And I was like, how did you not think you needed permission from Jordan
To sell Jordan.
It wasn't even for sale. It was just giveaway. I was like, how do you not get permission to customize a Jordan brand shoe? You work with 2311. Somebody has to know how to get a hold of Jordan. So yeah, if you have a pair of those Kurt Busch shoes, if you're somehow watching this video, those are one of 8 that are available, one of 200 that are never going to get seen, and I hope they are somewhere nice, hung up in a case somewhere, because those things are very rare.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was nice to dabble.
Yeah.
Adam's mine. Get to talk to you more.
Sure.
I know we've known you forever, but
Yeah.
it's good to finally get
There's
all
so much we could talk about.
so much more.
Yeah.
Fortunately, don't have the time. But we're gonna end it here. Stay tuned for this episode to drop. Anything you want to leave off with?
Thanks for tuning in. We have definitely more content coming up with season 2. We have a lot of guests coming in the works, and we're so excited to keep going. So keep watching. Stay tuned.
Yeah. Thank you, Adam.
Yes.
Yes,
Always fun.
appreciate it.
Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you on the next one.
Why won't you let it go, let it go? What we had was never personal, personal. Nothing you could better save your breath, leave your regrets behind. Invincible, you're not invincible.